At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
All right, we should have sound now. Let me double check. Yep. Okay, thank you, Shelly, for the heads up. I've been so, all right, so here's what happened. Basically, the last 2 days, my internet has been ridiculously slow, and I think my stream, hopefully, is not going to be too much impacted by that. And if you're watching on Facebook, hopefully everything is okay. Let me know if it's choppy or anything like that, because I've got to call up Spectrum and see what's going on. I'm paying for the highest business service, over a gig, I believe it is. I think it should be back. Should be back. Should have sound. Hopefully. Should. Let me check. I don't know. Is there sound? I'm still getting people saying there's no sound. Great. It's Tuesday. I don't know. Usually this happens on Mondays, right? All right, so let's refresh and start all over again. So what I was saying is this. My internet has been ridiculous. Thank you, Shelly. The internet has been ridiculously slow the last few days. I'm paying for the business, what they call the business package, and it's supposed to be the fastest internet, blah, 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 right? And this is through Spectrum. Everything has been uploading really slowly. It's been taking a long, long time. I'm hoping that this is okay, because I do know that there are a lot of dropped frames when I look at my 24-hour channel, and I've got to call up Spectrum and see what's going on. I have a feeling this is what's finally going to tip me over the edge. I'm going to be going on vacation for a couple of weeks, which I'll still be on. I'm going to be working remotely, and you'll find out where I'm going. It's nothing big, nothing major. But I'm going to be gone for a couple of weeks, and once I get back, I have a feeling that I'm going to be using a different internet service that is faster and more reliable. Maybe a little bit more expensive, but that's worth it. I got to have good internet service if I'm an online weather channel, right? So there you go. Hey, let me know in the comment section below if you, or in the comments, if you use Starlink. I know everything I hear about Starlink is just amazing reviews. So I'm thinking about going that route. We'll see. Anyway, let's get to Krueger's Quick Cast, shall we? And we're going to go ahead and start off with getting you out the door with temperatures in the upper 60s for the valley, 63 degrees for Oroville, 50 degrees for Alturas, 52 degrees for Eureka, and 53 in Crescent City. We take you out the door this morning and you're getting ready for work, or maybe you're on vacation, getting ready to head out. Temperature of about 70 degrees in the valley, 60s for most of the higher elevations, and still some of that low clouds and some fog for the coast. Now you can see the clear skies, and of course the wind gusts are on the calm side this morning, which is obviously something we like to see, but they will probably pick up again later this afternoon. No major wind events, south winds 20, maybe 25 miles per hour in the valley. A little bit gusty towards central Siskiyou County in Shasta Valley there, and a little breezy and gusty at times for Modoc County and in the eastern mountains in general. The winds die down again by tonight and tomorrow morning, but will most likely pick back up again here for your Wednesday afternoon. You can see the thunderstorms, and wow, more thunderstorms. I believe there were 3 thunderstorm warnings in northern Siskiyou County yesterday evening. It was the first one was kind of in northeastern Siskiyou County, then north central Siskiyou County, then northwestern Siskiyou County. And that activity just continued to develop and get pretty strong, but things have died down. I don't expect there to be as much, if any, activity here for Siskiyou County, or really anywhere in the mountains here for today. There's a look at HRRR forecast model, just one of the few that we do look at, and it is showing dry conditions across the board throughout the day today, and still that fog really persisting through a good portion of the day for the coast as well. Although I do expect to see some breaks, especially out towards places like Del Norte County, for example, probably seeing some better clearing. But look at these temperatures. We are seeing them drop. Redding saw a high of 102 yesterday, more like 95 today. 93 degrees in Chico, 91 for Alturas, and 87 for high today in Mount Shasta City. Low 60s for the coast. And tonight, temperatures in the mid 60s for the valley. We're talking 40s and even some 50s for the higher elevations for your overnight lows tonight. Let's take a look at your 7-day forecast. And temperatures are, trying to get the quotes in there, cooler for Tuesday, Wednesday, but we're warming back up for Thursday through the weekend. And taking a look at temperatures low to mid 60s here for the coast. Temperatures cooling off here for the inland areas and for Trinity County. And you can see temperatures warming up by the end of the week and this weekend and into next week. And for the mountains, no thunderstorms in the forecast, but I do need to mention extreme northern Siskiyou and northeastern Modoc County today, tomorrow may see a slight chance for some activity. Otherwise, I think expect dry conditions. All right, that's a look at Krueger's Quickcast. Now, let's take a look at your fire forecast. And you can see all the dots there on the map. That's all of the latest fire activity coming in from the fire tracker. Essentially, the satellite can detect heat signatures. So when you see red, that's recent activity, last 12 hours or so. So the green fire, latest report coming in as of 11:53 last night. 2,112 acres at 0% containment. Here you can see, looking out at the horse fire, 80% contained as of 5:30 yesterday evening. By the way, the red that you see on the map here, and also with the horse fire, that's the fire perimeter. That's not the most recent activity. The most recent activity from the Helena fire is about 3 to 4 days old. With that yellow that you see on the map there, that's the heat signature from 3 to 4 days ago. All right, 116 acres, 60% containment there. We take you out to the jacket fire, and the jacket fire, just that little dot there above that red box of jacket fire, that's the fire perimeter of the jacket fire, 50 acres, 5% contained. The Butler fire, you can't really see the fire perimeter too much because is being covered by the heat signature that was detected at least in the last 12 hours or so. 0% containment, and up to 507 acres as of 9/19 last night. We take a look at the red fire. There's that red dot there indicating the most recent activity in the last 12 hours or so. As of 9:04 p.m., 24 acres, 9:04 p.m. last night, 27 acres. All right, taking a look at the Summit Fire, as of 11:43 last night, July 7th, of course last night, 395 acres, still 0% containment. The red dot there is at least 12 hours old, so there has been some recent activity coming in from the Summit Fire as well. And by the way, this is something I mentioned the other day, and we'll take a look at that as well. I know I've got it up. There we go. Let's refresh this and see if we can see any of the heat signatures in the last 24 hours or so. Sometimes it takes a little bit of a second here. There we go. We're going to go and stop it. And there you can see, I mean, look at that. Yeah, we still have some heat signatures coming in from the main fires. You can see the green fire. So let's stop it here. The green fire doesn't seem to be quite as active. I'm going to do a quick mouse draw. If you look closely, you can see the green fire right there. Then you got the Summit Fire, looks like right here. And this one, I believe, is the Butler Fire. So if we kind of just zoom it in here. So yeah, I mean, last night, there was some decent activity coming from those fires, and I think that's one of the reasons why it grew. So you got the Summit Fire kind of in the up right here, and then you've got the Butler Fire right here. So those two were pretty active last night, it looks like. And then this morning, a little bit of a flare-up in the Butler Fire at least. And then here just recently, you can kind of see things have kind of died down a bit. So that certainly is good news. Let's clear those drawings and let's take it back to the weather maps. So I just wanted to kind of show you that, some of the heat signatures. We're still seeing some of that activity last night and early this morning. Taking a look at the wind gusts out there this morning, not that bad, right? The winds have calmed down, that's good. But they're going to be picking back up again this afternoon. We saw that a little bit earlier in Krueger's Quickcast, but this will take you into tomorrow as well. So as we go into tonight, tomorrow morning, yeah, the winds are fairly calm again, but by tomorrow afternoon. Now, instead of a south wind, we're looking at more of a north-northwest wind on Wednesday. That's not good because that can dry things out a little bit here. So we're going to be coming with those northwest winds here, and it continues off into the eastern mountains. And then if you go into Thursday morning, look at this. Thursday morning through midday, we've got some pretty gusty winds, but I am seeing signs that those winds will die down by Thursday afternoon. So the fire weather risk, nothing too alarming. We're in that moderate to high risk here, especially in the valley here for today. I think that'll be the case again here for tomorrow. There you can see it's not as bad. But then as we go into Thursday, it's going to be a little bit more elevated. And again, because of those strong gusty north winds that we're expecting Thursday morning through midday, that's going to elevate that fire weather risk a little bit higher for Thursday. So just be aware of that over the next couple of days. Let's take a look at the forecast smoke, and keep in mind that the smoke forecast is generated by the current conditions that we're seeing from the fires and what's expected due to weather conditions. So sometimes you get unexpected fire flare-ups or even a new fire, and that can drastically change the smoke forecast. But this is the general idea of what you can expect. The gray areas there, that's basically haze. You may smell a little smoke as you get into some of those lighter shades of gray. That is more of that smoke that could reduce the air quality a bit, and you could even smell some of the smoke. The more dense smoke are the colors there, where you see the yellows and oranges, reds, and even those purples in there, indicating some pretty dense smoke. So the southerly flow of winds will push most of that smoke to the north of those fires. So where we're seeing the most dense smoke is in western Siskiyou County, north central Shasta County, southeastern Siskiyou County, and parts of western Modoc County as well. That's probably where we're going to see most of the smoke here for today. By the way, conditions change rapidly when it comes to fires. So I can update you on the fires here now. Within an hour or so, if you're watching this recorded version, it may have changed. The numbers may have changed on containment. The numbers may have changed on the overall acreage. And, you know, I do, in even my recorded morning update, I do a detailed update on the fires. But again, I always point you right here, weathernorcal.com. click on the fire danger section, and that will give you the latest on any of the fires that you may be following. So be sure to check that out. All right, let's take a look at some of the cameras that we have out there this morning. Taking a look at Lake Oroville, North Forebay this morning. A little bit of a light breeze. Otherwise, you've got the clear skies out there this morning. Take you out to Main Street, Chico. They still have some of that road construction there. That should maybe back things up a little bit, slow things down for your morning commute if you're driving through there. Highway 99 at Neal Road, doesn't look like we have any construction there, but it looks like we've got the sunny skies out there this morning. And Highway 44 at Sundial Bridge Drive, sunny skies there. Traffic seems to be flowing along there. And taking a look out at Crescent City at Harbor District, and you can see some of the low clouds, some of the fog we are seeing. Earlier this morning, you kind of see some of the mist and some of the drizzle that they did see. That's why you can see the pavement does look a little wet from some of that mist and drizzle that they did see. Taking a look at Soda Ridge, and I'm going to see if the camera's back up there at Elk Country. Again, my internet is so darn slow that it's just not connecting. Oh, look at that. Cool. Let's check it out. Let's take a look at the cameras. Is it not working? My switcher's not working. Well, that's not good. That's a bummer. Turned off. Now it's back on. No, okay, my switcher broke. I'm going to have to reboot the computer after I do the live. But we can't go to... Well, what's going on? Can we do this? No, shoot. Oh, darn it, folks. Let's see if I can do this. We can do it this way. Oh. We can do it this way. Okay, no, it lost connection again. Did it? Oh, it should be there. All right. There you go. I can do it this way. There you can see this is looking out at Elk Country, north of Trinidad. Once again, you're seeing the low clouds there. All right, we got things going. All right, now we take you over to the Soda Ridge camera. And yeah, beautiful shot as usual that we're seeing out there, looking out at Mount Shasta. Let's take you out to Fort Jones this morning, and you can see it's pointing out, looking out at some of the fires that we do have in the area. A lot of times this camera view is looking out into the valley of Scott Valley, out into Fort Jones, but it's just kind of showing some of the smoke. The direction that it might be pointing, let me see here. That would be most likely maybe the Summit fire. Some of the smoke coming in from the Summit fire, though, we might be looking at. If not, maybe the Butler fire, somewhere in there. But yeah, that's just what we don't like to see. All right, we are going to go ahead and take you to our... Oh, looks like the switcher's working again. Okay. Just double checking it. All right, cool. Let's take you to your deeper dive forecast, shall we? What a morning. What a morning, folks. Interesting. We got our sponsor, Wind River Resort and Casino. I want to thank them for their support. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. Let's go ahead and take a look at our current conditions out there right now. We got 51 degrees in Weaverville, 67 degrees out in Redding, 57 degrees, 50 degrees at first Alturas, and low 50s right now along the coast. Let's take a look at our weather headlines. Slimmer chances for those mountain thunderstorms the rest of the week. Now, we may see, and the thing is, it's an off chance, but it's a chance nonetheless. So I don't want you to be surprised should it happen. If you live in extreme northern Siskiyou County, extreme northern Modoc County, don't be surprised if you see a stray shower or thunderstorm late this afternoon or evening, both today, maybe even tomorrow, especially in Modoc County tomorrow. But otherwise, it's going to be mainly dry, and really the worst should be behind us, especially what we saw yesterday in Siskiyou County. You know what I'm talking about if you live in that area. Slight cooling trend, though, the next few days, today and tomorrow, before it warms back up. In fact, get ready for a hot weekend and hot temperatures here as we take you through next week as well. There's my clicker. My clicker's acting up as well. It's Tuesday. Come on, folks. What's going on here? Oh, for goodness sake. Let's go. All right. Gosh. Technical problems. You got to love it when things don't always work properly. All right, here you go. Here you got a trough of low pressure right here. Hopefully everything should go smoothly now. You got area of low pressure that's staying to our north. What you can't see on the map here is, you see that burst of clouds? That was the thunderstorm activity you saw yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening in northern Siskiyou, northern Trinity, northern Modoc, and even parts of Lassen County as well. That then around the area of low pressure is spinning like this. So look at the flow of that. You see how it's kind of doing this? That's because if you look closely right here, See that spin in the atmosphere? That's the area of low pressure. Now, one of the reasons why we don't expect as much thunderstorm activity today is because this low pressure system, you see that there's that flare up. This is all dry air, by the way. So it's flowing around that area of low pressure. But if you look, there's the flare up of those thunderstorms right there. So that's the green, that's the saturated moist air, okay? So the area of low pressure, the flow around that, the thunderstorms developed, and in the upper level flow, they moved in this direction. Now, it's not just the afternoon convection that produced these thunderstorms, but we did see kind of a weak disturbance rotate around the area of low pressure. So the energy associated with this low pressure system, as this moves to the north, this right here, you see again that flare up today will be to the north of us, mainly in southern Oregon. But as I mentioned, we could maybe see some stray activity in extreme northern Siskiyou and maybe even into parts of Modoc County as well. But looking at futurecasts, it's not showing any activity popping up. Even in southern Oregon, it doesn't look to be all that active either. Now you'll notice the fog along the coast. It's going to have a hard time burning off again this afternoon and most likely even tomorrow afternoon. Now you'll notice a little bit more afternoon convective clouds, at least for the mountains north of the valley, in particular Siskiyou, Modoc, and even parts of northern Lassen. Could we see a stray shower or thunderstorm pop up in there as well? Not out of the question. That's something we've got to watch for. In the meantime, we still have those clouds along the coast here, having a hard time burning that out. But by Thursday, we're finally seeing those clouds kind of burn off. We're seeing more sunshine Thursday for the coast. Maybe some afternoon clouds, but I would say that most likely by Thursday, chances for thunderstorms are going to be very, very slim. Warmer than normal conditions are expected in the long range. That's the area of low pressure that I was talking about, giving us that chance for showers and thunderstorms in the northern mountains. But as this kind of moves off to the north and east, what's going to happen is this. That's keeping our temperatures at bay today and tomorrow. That's why our temperatures are cooler, right? Instead of 102 for Redding that we saw yesterday, more like 95 today, thanks to this area of low pressure here. But that scoots on out. That's been kind of blocking this heat from moving in, as well as the heat over the Pacific. They're going to basically join forces here and really heat things up for us. We got a broad ridge of high pressure, which is not the strongest and the biggest of ridges, but it's big enough and strong enough to give us our temperatures well above 100 degrees in the valley here, starting Thursday through the weekend and through a good portion of next week. There's Tuesday of next week. That ridge actually builds a little bit stronger and it's going to warm up even more. So we got a long stretch of triple digit heat, and not only that, but temperatures well above normal and well above 100 degrees. There's the cooler weather, right, for your Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you can see it really starts to ramp up again. We're up to about 108 on Friday. Some models trying to point at maybe 110 degrees, but for now I'm going to keep it below 110, and the temperatures just start to slowly maybe tick back downward as we get toward the weekend and into next week. But overall, it's just going to be downright hot. Here's a look at your lake levels. This is where you can go to cool off. Lake levels are still dropping slightly, but nothing to be alarmed about. We're still over 100% of that historical average. That certainly is some good news. You can see the wave heights for today. They're going to be fairly low. We take you into your Wednesday, fairly low as well. So no big changes there. Let's take a look at your marine forecast here for today and going into tomorrow. You can see those winds from the southwest at about 5 knots, waves from the northwest at 3 feet at 7 seconds, and from the south at 1 foot at 15 seconds. There's your high and your low tide for today. Already had your low tide. Your high tide today will be just shortly after noon today, and seeing some of that patchy dense fog out there this morning. We did see that on the Crescent City Harbor District camera. Just some of those low clouds and some fog out there. As you start heading out off the shore, you may see a little bit more of that dense fog. Taking a look at your Weaverville 7-day forecast, temperatures are cooler for Tuesday, Wednesday, but they're warming back up. And that's really going to be the trend for everyone off the coast, whether it's the mountains, inland, or the valley. You're talking about temperatures staying cooler today and tomorrow, and then we're really going to start to increase those temperatures by the end of the week. 77 degrees for Red Crest, 81 for Garberville, 64 degrees in Shelter Cove today, 66 in Ferndale, 67 degrees in Fortuna, and Rio Dell about 68 degrees. Let's take you up to the north. You can see about 61 for Arcata, Eureka about 62. Look for highs a bit warmer out towards the inland areas, about 94 degrees for Willow Creek. And you can see about 91 for Orleans, 71 for Gasquet, and out towards Klamath, a high of about 60 degrees. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast for places like Wairika, you're dry. Now, again, Wairika, Hornbrook, Especially some of these isolated areas north of Highway 96, there may be a stray shower or thunderstorm that could possibly develop. I don't expect any activity though for Scott Valley. I think you're too far to the south. 93 degrees for Fort Jones, 89 for Callahan, and 91 degrees for Etna. Now, places like McDowell, Doris, Tule Lake, sure, yeah, you may see a stray shower or thunderstorm, but I'd say at this point, don't count on it. Just keep a close eye on the sky as we start to see that development here through the afternoon. Modoc County, Newell, out towards Fort Bidwell, sure, yeah, maybe a little bit of isolated activity today, but I think maybe mainly to your north here. But for the eastern mountains, all bets are off for those thunderstorms or showers. Looking at a high of 84 in Boerne, as well as Bieber, 77 degrees for Old Station. Take you out to Lake Elminor and Lassen Park, 81 degrees for Westwood, 84 for Chester. And there you can see out towards Prattville, a high of about 79 degrees. Let's take you to the south. Paradise 85, 84 degrees for Greenville, 92 degrees out in Susanville, and Mineral about 79 degrees. And there's your valley neighborhood forecast to the south, generally in the low 90s for your daytime highs today. Looking at those south winds at about 5 miles per hour. There's a look at your 7-day forecast for Chico. Temperatures back up to 100 degrees or higher by Thursday. And yes, we keep it that way through the weekend and most likely through next week as well. 90 degrees in Whiskeytown as well as Lakehead. 95 out in the city of Shasta Lake. Got to be careful when you say city of Shasta Lake fast, because sometimes you can say that SH fast first. All right. 95 degrees for Palo Cedro, 95 for Anderson, 94 degrees in Cottonwood. Here is a look at your 7-day forecast for Redding. 95 degrees today, 97 Wednesday. See how temperatures are starting to slowly increase again. Up to 105 on Thursday, and then yeah, Friday. I mean, we're flirting with that 110 degree mark in some spots here. And if we do get up to 110, wouldn't be surprised. But we haven't seen it yet this year. And I sure do hope that we don't get up to 100 degrees at that point. So that's going to do it for us this morning. Tell you what, I'm gonna just go ahead and say, what's going on here? My goodness, what a morning. I got to get out of here. You know what? You don't need to be looking at me. My goodness. I'm sorry, folks. It's been one of those mornings. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, there's a look at the cameras. We're just going to leave you at that. I got to go. Have yourselves a great morning, folks. I want to leave you with a couple of cameras and what's going on across the region. We've got some low clouds and fog along the coast, and we do have some beautiful shots coming up out at Soda Ridge. Be sure to check it out. In the meantime, hopefully things run a bit more smoothly tomorrow for your coffee with Krueger starting at 6:30 tomorrow morning. Until then, have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.
Thank you.